No man is free who is not a master of himself. Epictetus. Imagine navigating life with a compass that always points towards happiness and contentment. That's what Stoicism offers in our modern world. Stoicism, a philosophy born in Athens over 2,000 years ago, might seem ancient, yet its principles hold enduring relevance, providing a practical guide to a more content and meaningful life. In the hustle and bustle of the 21st century, where stress and dissatisfaction often take center stage, Stoicism offers a refuge, a way to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and tranquility. Now, let's delve into the 7 Stoic rules that can guide us towards a happier life. Rule 1, don't compare, it's a thief of joy. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves with others. We see someone else's success, their achievements, their happy moments, and we start to feel like our own life doesn't measure up. But here's the thing, it's a slippery slope that only leads to dissatisfaction and envy. Comparisons are like illusions that make us feel less than we are. They distract us from our own journey, our own growth. It's like trying to run a race while constantly looking over your shoulder. You're bound to stumble. Instead, focus on your path, your progress. Celebrate your victories no matter how small. Learn from your failures, don't dwell on them. We're all unique, with our own set of strengths and weaknesses, our own pace. Remember, your worth is not determined by comparison, but by your own actions. And above all, don't try to be someone else. Try to be the best version of yourself. Rule 2, don't hate. It consumes the soul. You see, hatred is like a fire. It may start small, but if left unchecked, it can consume everything around it, including you. Stoicism teaches us that holding on to negative emotions like hatred or anger is merely feeding that fire. This doesn't mean you should ignore your feelings. Instead, acknowledge them, understand where they come from, and then let them go. Stoicism encourages us to replace these negative emotions with understanding and empathy. Life's too short to waste time hating others. This is easier said than done, of course, but the first step is always awareness. Remember, the person who hurt you may be out of reach, but the hatred you hold is always within you, gnawing at your peace of mind. So make the choice to extinguish that fire. Cultivate compassion, embrace forgiveness. After all, forgiveness is not just about others. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of hatred. Rule 3. Don't worry. Picture this. You're like a hamster, running ceaselessly on a wheel, the wheel being your what-ifs and maybes. This is what excessive worrying looks like, an endless race of anxiety that steals your tranquility. Here's the twist. Most of the things we worry about never materialize. It's like wearing a life jacket all day, just in case you fall into a pool. Exhausting, isn't it? Stoicism proposes an alternative path. It urges us to concentrate on what is within our control and dismiss what isn't. It's about understanding that worry is an emotion, not a solution. The day you stop worrying will be the first day of your new life. So, the next time you find yourself in the maze of worry, pause, breathe, and question yourself. Is this within my control? If not, release it. By being present in the moment, you can break free from the shackles of worry. The 4th rule is not to seek external validation. It's a mirage that leads you astray. Imagine you're in a desert, thirsty for approval, and you see a shimmering oasis of validation. You rush towards it only to find it was a mirage, a trick of the light. That's what chasing external validation is like. Sure, it feels good when others recognize our achievements or praise us. It's a quick jolt of satisfaction, but it's fleeting. It disappears as quickly as it came, leaving us thirsty for more. We become dependent on others for our self-worth, and that's a precarious place to be. Instead, the Stoics advise us to derive our self-worth from within, from our values, our virtues, our actions. These are things within our control, things that are stable and enduring. It's a more reliable, more satisfying source of self-worth. Your worth is inherent and not subject to the whims of others. The 5th rule is not to fear change. It's the only constant in life. The ancient Stoics understood this well. They saw change as the natural order of the world, as fundamental as the sun rising and setting. It's like the seasons, they come and go, each bringing its own beauty and challenges. Just as a tree loses its leaves in autumn to bloom anew in spring, we too experience cycles of change in our lives. And it's through these changes, these moments of letting go and starting afresh, that we grow. We learn, we evolve. When we resist change, we're like a river fighting against its course. It's exhausting and ultimately futile. But when we embrace change, we flow with the current of life. We seize opportunities for growth, for new experiences, for self-discovery. So don't fear change. Welcome it. It's the universe's way of saying, it's time to grow. Change is not to be feared, but embraced as an opportunity for growth. The sixth rule is not to live in the past. It's like walking backwards. You see, when we dwell on past mistakes and regrets, we effectively shackle ourselves to moments that no longer exist. This can hinder our happiness, clouding the joy of the present with the shadows of what was. Stoicism, in its wisdom, offers a different perspective. It encourages us to accept the past, to acknowledge it without letting it dictate our present. Imagine if every time you tripped and fell, you spent the rest of your life staring at that spot. You wouldn't get very far, would you? The same principle applies to our past. Yes, we've all tripped and fallen. We've all made mistakes. But Stoic philosophy encourages us to learn from these stumbles, to rise, dust ourselves off, and continue on our journey, ever forward, ever present. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Remember this as you move through life, focusing on the now, the only moment you truly have. The seventh and final rule is not to fear death. It's a part of life. You see, from the Stoic perspective, death is as natural as birth, as inevitable as the setting sun. It's not something to be feared, but to be understood and accepted. The Stoics saw death as a part of the grand tapestry of existence, woven into the very fabric of life. And acknowledging this can lead to a profound shift in perspective. When we contemplate our own mortality, we gain a heightened sense of the preciousness of each moment, of the fleeting nature of our existence. This doesn't mean we should live in constant fear or dread of death. Rather, it's about understanding the transient nature of life and cherishing the time we have. We learn to savor each experience, each relationship, each sunset, each breath. By acknowledging mortality, we learn to appreciate life more fully. So don't fear death, embrace life. That's the Stoic way. If you found the video engaging, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. If you're unsure of what to say, simply type, "Live a happier life." This way, we'll know you watched until the end. Remember to always strive to be the best version of yourself. These 7 Stoic rules function as a compass in our lives, leading us towards a life filled with contentment and joy. Let's dive into these principles and see how you can apply them in your day-to-day life. First, let's talk about not comparing ourselves to others. It's tempting to measure our success based on others, but remember, journey is unique. For example, rather than comparing your financial status to your neighbor, focus on your personal financial goals and celebrate your progress. Next, we have the concept of replacing negative emotions like hatred with forgiveness and compassion. The next time you feel resentment, try practicing forgiveness. This will help you lead a more peaceful life. The third rule focuses on reducing excessive worry. For instance, instead of stressing about an upcoming exam, focus on what you can control, your preparation and mindset. Stoicism provides techniques to help manage such anxiety and find inner tranquility. The fourth rule emphasizes on not seeking external validation. Your self-worth should come from your own virtues and values. Instead of posting on social media for likes, do things that align with your personal interests and principles. Our fifth principle challenges us to embrace change rather than fear it. For instance, if you lose your job, view it as an opportunity for a new beginning rather than an end. The sixth rule is about letting go of past mistakes and regrets. Rather than dwelling on a failed relationship, accept what happened, learn from it, and focus on the present. Lastly, consider the Stoic perspective on death. Instead of fearing it, we should contemplate it. This can help us appreciate life more. Remember, these 7 rules are more than just philosophies. They're practical guidelines for a content and meaningful life. Start your Stoic journey today and incorporate these principles into your daily life. It's not just about the destination, but the journey, and Stoicism is here to guide you.